All right, what are we doing here today? Well, we are listening to a train sing up there. They're up on the other side of the trees up there. And anyhow, let me address something while I've got you here, because I can see it in the camera. See this right here, this car? No, I don't work for them. I just work on the cars. That is something I do on the side, and sometimes you'll see a car here every now and then. Maybe I try to keep them out of the videos, but that is one of my side jobs. And that car has been here for a few days waiting on some parts and pieces. So if you see that car, no, I do not work for them. That is not my job. My job is strictly to fix that car. It will get moved once it gets fixed and sent back to its rightful owners. It's just a good side job. I hope you understand. But anyway, what we're trying to do today, we're going to try to put this hydrant in here. And I've got the little backhoe out here, as you can see. And we're having to dig a hole, which I put this water line and power in here back in December, with the plans on waiting until it warmed up to get this hydrant put in here. But I'm in need of putting the hydrant in now, because I got some concrete forms to pour. So I'm gonna see if I can make a couple of scoops right beside this line here, give me just a little more room to work, and we'll see what happens. I can hold that line over here out of the way a little bit. I'm sure it's not rocket science. It's aggravating a little problem. let's get the real backhoe out. It is nice to have that little backhoe though to do a project like this. I mean, I'm not a professional operator, but I've done several projects with it. Not only for me. All right. Now, let's see if I can't get something clean it off a little bit. All right. Get some junk paper towels here. Just old sticky mud. But this is part of plumbing too. Now, put that off. Let's try to get you set a little closer here. Yeah, you get to see my ugly mugs on today. Sorry. Like I say, when you're the film crew, the camera crew, the work crew, and everything, it is what it is. Sorry about that. I had to put my pipe fitting on there, on the end right there. Yeah, I'm using a used yard hydrant. Took it out up there at the house last year, and that's just what I'm going to use. Try to get that out of the hole so I can get down there and measure, if I can. This is a little bit of fun here. Cut it off about right there and we'll make it work. This really ain't too bad of a project unless it leaks. Then you got a problem. And I know some of you've never seen any of this stuff, so these are the cutters. These are the crimpers for PEX. And I'll show you how simple this is as far as, I say simple, but I've done it a bunch. Of course, I built my whole house, I mean, as far as me and my dad. And that took a good 3.5 years of my life. But that's the only way I could afford it, so. There we go. Cut off. Always remember to slide your ring on the pipe. Don't forget that. It ain't the end of the world if you don't, but I have been there. Alright, now we got to get this in there. Which with the weight of this, it ain't going to be too bad. A whole lot of weight there. I'm going to set this down. Gotta get my crampers around it. Oh boy. Mud might make this rough. Okie dokie. That part's done. I'm just trying to find me a way to stand it up right at the moment. Because I'm crimped on. I don't know if you can see that. I'm crimped on, I'm in the hole. Yeah, I'm not burying this very deep because I got a cut off up here at the house in a box. I can cut this whole system off on this branch line. But anyhow, I'll be right back. Well, I turned the water on. As far as from the cutoff valve on the end of that line to this one. I've got just a little seep in the weep valve, but this hydrant's been out of the ground for 6 or 8 months now. I'm hoping it seeps. I'm gonna go get a water hose and hook to it so I don't flood my hole, but I've got to give it a try. I'll be right back with you. Alright. If that weep valve's not leaking much, if it's doing anything. I've got me a water hose. I'm gonna hook it up here. Alright. It's run way out there. Don't necessarily need it way out there. I need to see it. Alright, let's see what we got here. We got a wedged in shovel. That released the air from it, thank goodness. Got some dirty water. But it got water. The weak valves are leaking pretty good now. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but see what happens when I cut it off. It should drain. You know it's not leaking, it's a good thing. I thought it might just be dry. That's what I figured. It should drain it out. We're add more. That way I don't hit my hand as bad if I open it. And I'm going to try to hold it still another second or two. I don't know about y'all, but this happens a whole lot to me working by myself. I need more hands. Just a few more hands sometimes. I don't know if y'all see it, but that weep hole down there on that hydrant, you can see the water running. That's not good. Just bear with me, I've got to get you stood back up here. Oh. All right, here we are back, still working on the water. And it's about an hour and a half later and about 20 miles later, and well, you see what we done. That hydrant out there is just leaking too much, and I ain't gonna put it in. While I'm doing it, I'm doing it, and I'm just gonna do it right while I'm doing it this one time. Not that I couldn't repair that one, maybe repair that one. I can't get it apart, it's a problem. I've tried with crescent wrenches and pipe wrenches, because you're supposed to be able to repair these by screwing this top off of here, taking them guts out, fixing it. Well, that ain't exactly working, so y'all just hang tight, and I'm gonna set you up here, and we're gonna get you hopefully some more footage. All right, first thing we gotta do is cut this one out. Probably be some mud in the hole now, or more than there was. All right, got that one cut out. I got to use these pieces on the bottom of this one to put in my new one. Not a big deal, like I say. Just part of plumbing. You gotta love plumbing. I think I'm gonna use my backhoe cylinder here to twist this one off. Oh yeah, there's a piece. There's the piece I need. This is the old hydrant. They don't really come with that foot, but ain't no problem if you can get it apart. Now sometimes you can't get them apart. Put that back together. I'll cut that piece of pipe right there and make it work. I got pretty much the new piece of pipe back on there. Get it. Turn the timer to me. We'll be in great shape. say that's about it. And that's okay. As you can see, I put some, it's called number 5 PTFE paste. It works really good on there. And this one's just a tad shorter. I did buy a shorter berry. That's just what they had, you know, for the price. I got to get rid of this little bit of this extra piece of blue pipe here. I'll show you how I do that since it's out of the ground. Just going to take the quarter band and cut that ring. I really just want to cut the ring. It's a little tough to get off. I don't know it's hard for you to see. I'll see if I can get you a better angle. This piece is what slips up over that joint, and it's designed so it don't come back off, especially once you ring it. But I'm trying to save this joint. I mean, this piece of pipe. I did buy one in case I needed it. Been known to mess up before. And I may have to cut this piece here a little bit too, to give it some playroom. Let me see if I can do that. I really just don't want to hit the fitting. I'm getting close. Not gonna lie, getting close on that. Hitting that fitting. But hopefully that'll release it to let it slide off. This is plumbing. This is what some people supposedly make the big dollars for. Yeah, they'll have a fancier tool, but they got to pay for that tool too. But I guess if you dealt with this every day, it'd be worth it. Probably, maybe. Like a lot of other things, there's 100 ways to do it. This is just the way I'm doing it. I mean, I have drilled them off. And you can see they do stay on there now. Once you crimp that plastic, it's a good, it's definitely a medium that the rings work. I don't know what else to tell you. That ought to give me plenty. It's stretched. There you go. Now, what I was trying not to do is cut them rings though, because once you cut those rings, you can't have a leak. All right, we're getting close to having us another crimp to do here. Let's see if you'll sit right there. Hopefully you can see. And like I say, I hope you're recording. Well, I'll show you something some of you don't know. These crimps have a channel here. You can see that little channel? This side has the part that goes in it. Yeah, I run it in the mud there a while ago, and I'll probably run it in the mud again. But try to clean that channel, because that's what gives you your crimp. And they make all kinds of these hydraulic crimpers. This one here is 10 or 15 years old, this pair. I bought it when I was building a house. because I had so many of these to do. It was just cheaper and easier than hollering at buddies and friends that had them. And I don't know how many times people that I know have used them since then, because they got different interchangeable dies. And they by no means are cheap. If it were to be clean enough. Let's see here. If we can't get in the hole, get crimped again. I better clean that pipe a little. Make sure and slip your ring over. Try to get the camera so you can get here and see. Alright. Like I say, make sure and put your ring over the pipe. Don't forget it. Makes all the difference in the world. It's hard to get you all a good view of this. I'm having to work in this hole too. But I'm trying. Now. We got it together. I gotta slip the ring up over that if I can. I'm gonna try to hold it up just a little bit this time. Hopefully get the pliers on it. All right. Now, I don't know how much of that you all seen. I really don't. But you can tell I've got a new crimp in. I'm gonna see if my handle will open. Seems to. It's a little tight. Just a little tight on that end. But I'm not going to hurt it with that as long as it works good. Now, get my shovel shoved back in it here. You just need something to hold it. Like I say, it's hard working in here by yourself. And got my crimps. Got that crimped in. Let's see. Put my water hose up here. I'll just hang on a second. Put my water hose back up. Try to keep the hole as dry as I can. Drier is better, trust me. Alright. I'm gonna go up here and cut the water on. Y'all watch the leaks down there in the bottom of that hole. Bear with me. Alright, y'all don't see no leaks, do you? I don't either. That's a good thing. Matter of fact, that's a great thing. No leaks is a good thing. Cut it on, make sure it works. Make sure it's gonna work there. Oh yeah. Got some air coming out of it this time. See the weep hole drain? Right there it is. That's why these don't bust in the winter. This post here, it empties out. Now, usually a lot of times these things would have a bigger T on the bottom. That's why you put that metal down there. I don't have that, but I've got something I'm going to use here. And put right beside of it to give it just a little bit more rigidity, but not a lot. Alright, like I told you before, that's totally optional and you don't have to do that. I had a bent T-post, so I took and sawed it off about 4 feet and drove it in the ground beside of that. It's over here. And then tied my spigot to it. It's not perfect, but it gives it more rigidity. You see how it barely moves that pipe down there? Sure, it'll move the base of that one for now, but it won't soon. And I just didn't want it to, when I'm cutting it on and off by the handle here, I didn't want it moving around. I do have another little ground stake in there I had a tail off my ground, and I just drove another piece of rebar in there and clamped it to it and run the extra ground down in the hole. Can't hurt nothing. Plus it'll stay damp down on there with that weep hole. And electricity loves water. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but it sure does. But anyhow, let's see if we can get this filled back in. Now, there's a very important part to this. You got to put rock around the weep hole. Around that little hole right there. You have to put rock around that so it will drain. If you pack it full of dirt, it won't drain and this will bust. Then we'll be doing this again. So, y'all just hang tight. You know, the actual hard part might be finding some rock. I don't want to use a lot of them, but I'm going to use some of these gravel here. I can haul more rock out here. I can't haul more rock in the hole once I cover it up. It's not overly hard, it's just plumbing. Some aggravation. And I know some of you may will never do this. And that's fine too. That's why I'm here. You can pay me to do it. You wouldn't want to know what the installation cost for this is, probably. If I provide everything, you definitely. I don't know. Things ain't cheap no more. I can tell you there's a lot of plumbing companies out here. If they brought the backhoe, brought the stuff, and just out of example, they got to haul a little rock in here, it's a $1,000 job. pretty good. Better than it was. Much better than it was. And it'll still sink a little. That's the thing about it. Yep. Still sink a little. But I hope you're still with me, because here's the great thing about it. And we put a water spigot in this morning. Like I said,